Hello everybody and welcome to new session. In this session we are going to keep working on the penetration testing. So let's dive in. So in our previous session we already started to explore security frameworks, and as you remember that we already covered about the ethical hacking phases, and right now we have 4 phases. And in our previous session we covered the first 2, and today we are going to dive to the last 2, which is compromise and remediation one. So here are some tools that we already learned, and the first tool was Nmap, and we use it to identify the network structure, and we use the Nessus to scan and discover different softwares. Let me just go ahead one by one, and before doing that, guys, we have a new tool to cover today, and we will just dive in a second. So what we did on the Nmap, actually we used the Nmap. That is one of the tools of the Nmap. And we just specified what is my target is, what IP range that I'm going to scan, and we made a quick scan. So let me just go ahead and analyze very briefly what we did. So right now I have a couple devices, couple IPs here, and if you look on that IP, which is 10.2.0.5, and that IP belonged to my PLC machine, which is running my Linux machine. So right now it says that I have 8 ports open, which is running, and 92 are closed. Do you see here? It says 92 ports are closed and 8 of them are running open. I mean, like, they're available. So I have my FTP, I have my SSH, HTTP, and so on and so on and so on. So the Nmap is just giving me the overall the picture of what is happening on the network. So how many devices I have, so how many IPs I have, and what kind of ports are available for every single IP. For the second one, Nessus, what we did, we just scanned specific machines. So, for instance, we were using the IP which is 10.2.0.5, and that belongs to the PLC, and which is running the Linux machine. Linux operation system. So right now, based on my report, what I can see that, let me just get my pen, and I can see that there is 2 critical things going on. So one of them is Pro FTPD. It's a kind of FTP port, and you see that is a FTP. And after that, the second report that we received, that already it gives me the description what is that vulnerability is all about and what is the solution is. So they are offering to make some solutions to upgrade a version, you see. So right now I have this issue. So perfect, let me just go ahead. Oops, it's not okay. I'm going here. So before starting today's activity, I just want to remind that right now I have my 3 servers. So that is the Linux, and that is the Windows, which is web server, and those are the IP server. IPs, here is the IP, and I have another IP, and that is my PLTW machine, which is 10.2.0.8, and here is internet, that the local machine that I'm using right now. So perfect, let me just go ahead. I will see what is next. So as you see, guys, right now we have 4 phases for ethical hacking, and right now we are going to work on the compromise. So in this phase, what we are going to do is, in the compromise, we are going to explore a new tool, and the name of the tool is Metasploit. So guys, if you remember that in the first steps we used Nmap and the Nessus, and right now to test the vulnerabilities, guys, we are going to use the Metasploit. So let's see the definition of the Metasploit. The definition of that is, actually pen testers, they are using this tool to make a penetration test, and they can access the weakness and the vulnerability system of the network. So yes, in the beginning it looks like we already know what is the vulnerability is. So let me just go to my slides back. Do you remember, guys, whenever we run our Nessus, this, and Nessus already gave us a huge report. So right now, for instance, on that machine that we are running the PLC, which is IP 10205, and it says that we have two critical vulnerabilities, and they were providing the solution. The solution is to just upgrade it. And what is the Metasploit is going to do is, guys, we are going to test these vulnerabilities. So pro FTPD, and let's see how it looks like. Basically, the Metasploit it's not a GUI. Guys, do you remember that? Let me just go back to my slides. Do you remember, guys, these tools that we learned, Nmap and the Nessus, they have a user interface. So you just double click and something is popping up and you are using the tool with the GUI, which is visual. But Metasploit is, today we are going to Metasploit in a different way on the PowerShell. So we need to type some codes, we need to make some commands to run it. Okay, so let me dive in. Let's see how it looks like. So right now I am on my Windows machine, on my virtual machine, which is from the PLTW, and using the PowerShell, guys, right now we are going to start using our Metasploit. And let's see one by one. We are going to follow the steps, whatever it says here. So the first of all, we need to make a database that is going to collect the database. So that is MSF DB start. So let me just go ahead and I will type it here, MSF DB start. So that is going to establish database for us. Perfect. So the database is ready. And now the second one is I need to run my MSF console. So guys, do you remember that whenever we run our Nmap or Nessus, we just double click it, it was taking a little bit time and we were able to see from the GUI. But here what I'm going to say that MSF console, I just want to make sure that I'm typing all of them right. Yes, that is right. So it will take a little bit time, guys. It will take maybe 1 minute or less, and because right now it's running, it's trying to execute that application. So perfect. Right now it looks like it's done. So right now it's running, guys. But every time whenever I'm using my Metasploit, guys, I see different pictures here. I'm not sure why it's so, but you might, guys, whenever you're running your Metasploit, guys, you might see something different here. So, but as long as you don't see any errors, guys, so everything is working, and I can confirm it here, guys. You see, I have my MSF. So perfect. So right now, like short, what we did so far is we just started using Metasploit on the PowerShell. Perfect. So right now what I'm going to do is, guys, do you remember that we have one weakness? I'm like one vulnerability. It's a pro FTP. So right now I'm trying to search it. So let me just go here. Let me see. Yes, I need to search it. I will say search pro FTPD. And yes, it will take a little bit of time. And perfect. So right now I can see all of them here. So what I'm going to do is, guys, you see we have a different files over here, and I'm going to select the last one. So let me just see what is the code, and I'm going to, you see, I need to use that command, and I will type whatever is here. Actually, that is the same that I have on the last portion here. So I will say use, and you can type exactly whatever says here, exploit. And let me show you a shortcut to make it. So for example, if you just type a couple words, like in couple characters, guys, and if you click on the tab, guys, it is going to fill it by itself. Unix tab, oops, Unix tab. After that I have a FTP tab. After that I have a pro FTP tab, and mode. Perfect. You see, guys, so I use just my tabs, guys, and it is exactly the same whatever I see over here. And if I run it, perfect. So right now we started executing our penetration test right now. That is good. It says that, let me just go ahead. Let's see what is next. Using that Metasploit, I want to see what kind of options are available. So what I can do with that Pro FTPD. So what I need to do is, let me just go ahead. I will say show options. So if you type show options, you see, guys, so Metasploit says that using these options, we can just go ahead and analyze and make our penetration test now. So some of them are required, some of them are not. So right now we are going to use our host, and because that is my target address. You see, guys, right now I am on my environment, which is on the PLTW, and using this machine, guys, we are going to connect to our PLC. So because we are going to test the PLC. But usually, guys, do you remember from our previous sessions, whenever we had the two machines, if I want to connect from one machine to another machine, I was using my FTP, and whenever I'm establishing my FTP connection, it was asking me what is the username and password is. But right now, using this penetration test, guys, what we are going to do is we already know what is the weakness is. We already know what is the vulnerability is. We are going to try to use that port that was saying here. Let me just go back and show it here. You see, guys, we are going to use that port Pro FTPD and FTP port, guys. We are going to try to access using that port and get to inside the PLC without any username and password. Okay, so let's see what is next. I'm going to follow the steps. Right now, I'm going to establish two disconnections. I will set our host. So let me just go set our host, all capitalized. And right now, I'm saying what is my destination is. 10, 0, 2, oops, 205. Yes, perfect. The connection was established, and the next one is I want to go to my site path. So let me just say site path, and I will say var, whatever says here. You see, guys, I have my var www, and I will say HTML. Was it HTML? Just to make sure. Yes, it was HTML over here. Perfect. So let me run it. Yes, perfect. So right now, what we did it here, guys, you see, guys, without any username and password. So I was able to log in from one server to another one without any credentials. So that is a weakness. That is the vulnerabilities that we have a report from the last week. And that's why it's asking us that we need to update it, because time to time they are updating that. So perfect. Right now everything is ready, and before that, let's see. It says that we are going to launch the exploit, and Metasploit has all configurations to make a Pro FTP vulnerability. So actually, the big game is about to start right now. We are going to exploit it, and let's see how it looks like. Let me just exploit. It will take a little bit of time, and let's see what we have. Perfect. So basically what is happening right now, it established connection, and we were able to connect to that machine, which is 10205. It was connected with the FTP, and we just sent some information. Perfect, guys. You see, so right now what we did is we just log in from one machine to another machine without any username and password, and we are just testing our vulnerabilities. So yes, perfect. Actually, right now what we did, we just done, and if you want to check who you are, you see, guys, there is a new command. It's who am I right now, because right now I am on my machine. What I can say that, by the way, let me see if I miss anything. Yes, perfect. So let me just type it, who am I, and it says that I am my administrator. So I am administrator on that machine. So perfect. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change my host name, and let's see what kind of different configurations I have. Actually, it's not that much important, but what you can do is actually it's showing that what I can do on my PLC machine while being on my main machine, which is PLCW Windows. Perfect. So actually, we are done with the step three. Here you see, guys. So we are done with the step three. Right now, it's remediation because in remediation there's a different ways. It depends on what is the scenario and what is the as a team what you're supposed to do is imagine that you work in the company, you did all your tests and you know what is the vulnerability and you just tested that and you can actually you are sure what is the weakness point as. And in the remediation is it's all about taking some actions, how we can prevent it, what kind of ports we can close it, or what kind of different firewall settings we are going to establish. So in these sections, guys, what I'm going to do is, let me just go ahead. We are going to run different codes. Do you remember the guys in our previous sections we already covered that how I can change my firewall settings on my machine. So yes, guys, oops, it gives me keeps giving me error now. So we are done with the step 1, step 2, step 3. Right now we are going to work with the remediations. What I can do is, let me just minimize it. I will go ahead and I will open all my, so you see, guys, I have my monitor, I have my PLC, and I will just log into my PLC. Let me just log in here. Perfect. So from the PLC it was Vagrant and Vagrant one more time. Right now I am on my PLC. At the same time, what I'm going to do is I will go to my monitor. So right now I am on my monitor and the username is just a user and the password just a password. So perfect. So right now I am on my monitor machine and that is my PLC machine. By the way, what I'm going to do is, let me just go ahead. I will close my PowerShell. We are done with testing. And let me just go ahead. I will close it. I will show what I'm doing now. You can just close it from here. It will take a little bit time to close it because right now it is running my Metasploit. So yes, perfect. From the PowerShell, basically what I'm doing right now, let me just get my where is my pen? Oops. Do you remember, guys? So right now we have our PLC machine, I have my monitor machine, and I have my web server over here, and I have my the Windows machine that provided from the PLCW. So right now we just test the vulnerabilities on the PLC. So that is my PLC, and we just recognized that the Pro FTP port has some vulnerabilities. Actually, the idea of the company is to have the connection between these two machines only, because the PLC is trying to get some information from the pumps, and all these logs will be sent to that monitor only. So basically, this is only one of the solutions. What we are going to do is we are going to block every single connection that is. So right now, what I'm going to do is I will just close this connection, so this machine will not able to connect here, or even the web server will not connect to here. So the only thing is we will be open. We will just keep this connection. So PLC will be able to communicate to the monitor only, and rest of them will be blocked. And before blocking that, I will let me just show you that if that machine can communicate them before setting the firewall, and I will see if that machine monitor is can communicate with the PLC. Perfect. So right now I am on my Windows machine. Let me just run it. I'm just testing. So if I go to the FTP 10.2.5, and if I go to the Vagrant and let's say the Vagrant here, so you see guys, let me just make it list. So right now, using my PLTW machine, I am able to log into my PLC. So my solution is actually the PLTW solution is, it is just one of the solutions. So right now we are going to block that server, that connection. So the only monitor can connect to the PLC and that's it. So let me just go back to my, that is my PLC machine, guys. Just want to make sure that you can see all of them. So right now what I'm going to do is, guys, I'm going to run this code. Do you remember, guys, we used IP tables, and this IP table is just to make a the firewall configurations on the Linux. So let me just go ahead. I will say sudo, oops, sudo IP tables, and I will say, let me just put the L, and do we need to put the input? Yes, no. Okay, so let me just run it. Let's see. You see, guys, we have a lot of rules. So all these configurations, like a firewall configuration, was done before. Right now, what I want to do is I will delete all of them, and we are going to set new rule. And do you remember that a few minutes ago we were talking about that only monitor will be able to connect to my PLC, nothing else. So we are going to set some new firewall rules. So first of all is, guys, do you remember that we need to clear all rules, and to clear we need to use that code. Let me just put it here. So I will say sudo IP tables, which is f input. Perfect. And let me just list it one more time. I just want to make sure that all of them are deleted. I will say sudo IP tables, and I will say L. Let me see, guys. You see, guys, there is no any rules right now. Perfect. So all of them are cleared. And if you run every single these codes, guys, actually I will not do it right now because I just want to save the time. You see, guys, so the number one is we are clearing now. So right now we are going to allow some machines to log into our machine, to the PLC, and here we're just allowing to go to make a communication between that IP, and that IP belongs to the monitor only. So I will pause it here just for a while because I'm going to type all these codes, and later on I will show you. So basically what I did so far is I typed all these codes. I will not go in deep because we already covered all of them. So what, just briefly, we just listed and we just checked what current rules are available. After that, we deleted all of them and we established new rules over here. And after that, I just delete it, save it. So my new rules are saved right now, and I have the communication. The only IP accepted is from the 6. Let me show you from here again, the last one, the one more time. Where's my pen? So right now, guys, you see this PLC that has some weakness, some vulnerabilities. We just realized all of them, and we are trying to disconnect this machine from everything. So the only thing is they will be having connection between the monitor. Why it's important that is because this PLC machine is going to get the report from these pumps, and that is going to send to that monitor. So it must have some communication, and the rest of them that will be deleted. So let's check if that machine can talk to this to that PLC. I will go to my here again. Let me just run my I will run my PowerShell. So right now I'm going to test if I can make FTP connection between the Windows and the PLC machine. So if I go to FTP 10.2.0.5, and if you run it, guys, you see it's not connecting. So it's keep trying, and after a while it gives the message that, let me just wait a little bit. Perfect. So it says that the FTP, it was trying to connect. It just tried it several times and waited for a couple of minutes. It says that there is no any connection. So my machine, which is from here, cannot connect to that machine. It's just one of the solution, because from the remediation, it depends on the company. So every company, they have a different ways to make to take action. But for now, before going to make update, because you see it says we need to make update, and that is a critical issue. So we need to take action, because somebody else from outside, they can attack our PLC, and the solution for now is to just block everything between machines. So that is one of the solutions for the remediation.